Well, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel, guys. What is going on? Welcome to another V1 live stream coming at you from cold and cloudy Texas right now. It's like 40-something degrees. Well, it was earlier. I think it's warming up a little bit today. But what is going on, guys? Glad to have you on board. I'm super excited for this stream. We are finally, I get to fly my baby, the 727 from FlyJSim. I totally love this aircraft. Never flown it in real life, by the way, just getting that out there, full disclaimer, but I do really appreciate this airplane. It's probably my favorite commercial civilian jet out there of all time. The way it looks, the way it sounds. I have some memories as a kid of this airplane just ingrained in my memory, so super excited to be flying it with you guys on stream today here as we get hit here by this catering truck or something. But anyway, what is going on? Niels Christensen, good to see you. Swappy S, Benny, Q8 Pilot in the house. Glad to see Q8 Pilot here in the chat. Q8, I was watching your stream the other day, man. Fantastic landing on the FlightSim 2020 Airbus. Did a really awesome job. Your sim looks absolutely fantastic, man. I love Q8. You guys know Q8 by now. If you don't, go check him out. He's one of the largest reasons I am on X-Plane here from the very beginning. So glad to see him in chat. Mateus, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining the channel, good friend. Let's see. David Relic in the house. Mateo Chewy, what is going on? A guy, I'm with you. Good to be with you, sir. JetBlue 671, Drag Person. Benny, Navy Land Sub, 5 Mike Alpha, Aviator Gamer, good to see you. Aaron, good day to you. Anderson C, Mrs. Jungles, Jeremy Harvey, of course, coming in with the fantastic music there for the intro. Gets me every time, Jeremy. I can't wait till we hit 20k subs and I can bust out the new theme that you created, man. It's absolutely fantastic. May have to bust it out early, we'll see. Ethan, good to see you as well, and Flight Simmer 7700. All right, we've got a lot to get going here. We are going to be operating VOR to VOR, basically the old school way these airplanes used to operate. I put out the polls there for which livery to use, and it was very close. A V1 house livery, courtesy of Jungly Sim. Love this livery. He's also got a matching livery for the 737-200, both pinned in the Discord. If you want to check those out in the official group flight section, you can get all the V1 liveries there. But it was a very close tie between a V1 livery and a PanAM 727, which PanAM very near and dear to my heart, as you guys know. So this is actually a real-world PanAM route that was flown out of Miami on the 727 for their summer schedule. They would go from Miami down to Stephen Manley? Kingston, down to Jamaica there. So this is a real route that we're going to be flying. We are going to try to do our best to operate this airplane as efficiently as possible as a single crew environment while streaming. So let's get the airplane set up. We got some basic things we're going to do first, and of course I will go over a couple other things here on our routing and how to set up our VOR to VOR nav. Before I go ahead and turn off the vacuum, because I got the vacuum running downstairs, you guys can probably hear that in the background, I apologize. Rob C. coming in with a $50 donation bomb, dude. Thank you so much. He says, 4 new rudder pedals if needed. Wow, Rob, very, very generous of you. Really appreciate that donation, man. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. I will definitely put those to some new rudder pedals. They are I'm just gonna have to go ahead and do it. So positive rates in chat there for Rob C, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for that very generous donation, Rob. Very, very much appreciated. All right, vacuum is off and we are ready to get the show on the road. So first thing we're going to do here, we're actually going to try not to mix up all our bindings here. We're going to come over to the flight engineer panel. We're going to get the battery online here. Everything is cold and dark. We are just going to go straight APU on this one. So we're just going to come over here and get the APU fired up here. We're going to press and hold that, and it should start to see that exhaust temperature start to build up there. We'll go ahead and take a listen for this one. Those baggage carts, the baggage cart dude puts the pedal to the metal. You got it. Yeah, these, I think there might only be a few streams left with these rudder pedals, guys. They are, pretty much done, but at least we're not flying a helicopter or something today, right? Love the sounds there. Love this livery, Jungly Sim, man. It's freaking awesome. All right, we got the APU fired up now on the back there. That's spooling up. Once it gets to speed, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to close the generator circuit. So a lot of things that happen automatically on our modern jetliners we take for granted. I mean, back in the day in these airplanes, you had to manually close and trip breakers all the time. So let's just, there we go, see that EGT reset, or exhaust EXH, I guess, reset there. So we can go ahead and close the generator contactor. Now we have power from the GPU. What we're also going to do is select, I'm sorry, I said GPU, but we're going to go ahead and select APU for the essential power. And I'm going to go ahead and move my synchronize when lights are out, or switched down here. But this has pretty much all been dumbed down for us here. Back in the day, you used to have to synchronize the frequencies before switching line contactors and stuff, just crazy stuff. But that works for APU. And then what we'll do here is we'll also turn on the galley power while we're sitting at the gate. A couple other things we need to do here is we need to open the cooling doors. I feel like this is extremely loud. Is it loud for you guys? Turn it down a little bit. But, all right, what we do need to do here is we need to open the cooling doors on the ground here. So let's go ahead and open forward and aft cooling doors. I guess they're left and right, I should say. Flying Guitarist says the sound when you close the circuits is juicy. I totally agree, man. The sounds in this airplane for default are absolutely fantastic. Jeremy says, I love that the FlyJSim modeled the glare off the glass on the gauges so it looks like the gauges are covered. Yep. Yeah, I totally noticed that too, man. And you're right. If the sun hits your airplane just right, you'll get a glare off each gauge. Totally awesome. You can even see it here with a little bit of the cockpit lighting glare. All right, so those are open. What else we're going to do down here? We're not doing this as a, you know, a by-the-book study level type of simulation here, but Q8 pilot coming in with a $100 bomb. Q8, dude, that is super generous, my friend. I don't have a message with it there, but wow. If you're a member in chat, guys, give Q8 some positive rates. I mean, he is absolutely crucial in the X-Plane community. His content that he's put out, and just for that support and generosity, Q8, I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you so much for your support, continued support on this channel. Q8 was one of the first established members of the flight sim community, I guess, to kind of really acknowledge my channel when I was coming out. And, you know, I wasn't really looking for, I always wanted my channel to grow organically. You know, I'm not one of those people that want to hunt for subs and hunt for likes and things like that, but it just naturally grew, and Q8 was a big part of that. He saw the content I was putting out, and when he mentioned me by name, I was absolutely flabbergasted. So I can't thank you enough, Q8, man. When I get some steady internet, my friend, we have to figure out how to do some type of multi-crew flight together. That's been on my bucket list for a long time. I really want to do a multi-crew with you, whether it be in the Airbus or something. I think that would be a lot of fun. So it's still on the list, Q8. Again, very much appreciated. All right, top altitude is flight level 330. We got that set here. We are on the ground, so that is in ground mode. I'm just kind of going through here what we need to do here. Let's go ahead and turn on our air conditioning packs while we're on the ground. Left and right, that can come on. The bleeds are open. We don't need engine bleed right now, so we can close those. That is set. And just getting a couple other miscellaneous items here in the cockpit. Floodlight. Yeah, we can go ahead and turn that on. All right, let's go up to the overhead. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to go ahead and test it. Stall warning test is good. Flight recorder light check. Now, these lights do burn out, so you got to kind of go through and make sure that they do work. We'll go ahead and test our fire. That looks good there. Definitely want to test those. And we'll go ahead and down here turn our navigation light. That is on. That looks good. Go ahead and arm the emergency exit lights. Those lights are good. Where is the pitot heat? I'm just kind of going up here. Checking bulbs right now, make sure everything is online. That looks good. Alright. We'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt, no smoking sign on. I gotta turn this down. This is super loud for me. I don't know why, I can't even hear myself think. Super, super loud. Is it too loud for you? Is the airplane too loud for you guys? Alright. Let's go through our basic checklist here. Battery on, ground power, APU is on, stall warning has been checked, emergency lights are on, passenger signs, we got them on. Window heat, we'll just go ahead and turn that on, I guess, right now. So we'll go back to the overhead. Window heat, we'll go ahead and turn that on. Radio altimeter Radio, radar altimeter, transponder. We do not have any ATC online. That is totally fine. So we're going to come down here. We're just going to go ahead and set 2000 for no squawk code. Set 2000. QA Pilot says you are most welcome, and it would be absolutely my honor to fly with you, Captain. Thank you for your service to this community. QA, cheers, my friend, dude. Absolutely fantastic. It will happen. We are definitely going to do it at some point. Waiting on that Starlink for sure. All right, we got 2000 set here for the transponder. Radar altitude, altimeter, don't need to worry about. The parking brake is set. APU has been started. So that's kind of the before start checklist. Very abbreviated checklist, but that at least gets you semi-set up. Now, a couple other things here before we start turning the dials is I want to show you guys in our nav log. I posted a couple different nav logs, or I posted the SkyVector nav log for you in the Discord. I also printed off my SimBrief flight plan here to make sure we have enough gas. So we're going to come down here to do these settings. I'm sorry, aircraft weight and balance. So we needed 26.2 on board. As noted right here, I got us at 26.4. That's enough gas. We do have an alternate Montego Bay, so it's close alternate, but we got plenty of gas. We can go about 1,000 miles if we need to, as you can tell here. And then I just randomized the cargo and the passengers. Pretty decent load right now. So we do have our fuel. Our gate fuel is on board. That looks good. We can go ahead and get rid of that. Last thing we need to start programming here before we start engines, you want to have the airplane set up completely before you start moving the airplane. So those of you that have been around know that I do like using SkyVector. I'm going to have to show you guys some Navigraph airways as well here, but on the SkyVector flight plan log, I have highlighted all the frequencies for the VOR stations that you're going to be using as we track it down to Jamaica. So what I'm going to do is pull up the Navigraph page so you guys can see the actual course lines, which apparently I closed. Let me pull that back up. Navigraph charts, I accidentally closed the tab. So there we go. So now we got our Navigraph charts on. So the Dolphin 6, or the Miami 6, is basically a radar vector departure to intercept Alpha 509 to ADDONS. So what we need to do here is set up Dolphin VOR, which is 113.9. So let's go ahead and start loading up all of our frequencies here. Oh, why'd I lose my mouse? That's not good. Tell me I can't have Navigraph online? Wow, okay. So we're not going to be able to use, I'm not going to be able to pull up the Navigraph. That's weird. We have other ways to do it. We're going to set 113.9 here. And then from Dolphin, we know our next waypoint is going to be 117.4. So I'm going to actually put that in the standby. So 117.4. And green, the light means it's active. So I'm actively trying to tune Dolphin. And I'm actively trying to tune Uniform Charlie Alpha, which is a little ways away. We probably won't get it, 117.4. But then in the backup here, I'm also going to put 17.4. And then after 117.4, I'm eventually going to be looking for Sangster, which is 15.7. So I'm going to set that over here in Nav2 standby. All right. Now our first course line from Dolphin is going to be the 151 radial. So we're going to select course to 151. We know we want to join that outbound. 151. Where are you at? We want to join 151 outbound. Now the winds are out of the south this morning, so we're probably going to take off of runway 12. So I'm going to just go ahead and set runway heading here in my heading bug of 120. Now I have these bound, so you probably won't see me moving my mouse. 120 runway heading, and we're eventually going to turn and join outbound to ADDONS, and you can see that here is listed on the Miami 6 departure procedure, just like so. 151 outbound, Dolphin 13.9 is tuned up, and it looks like we're actually getting DME. No, we're not getting it from Nav2 yet, but that's good. Both of these are in VOR. That looks good. Our top altitude, we don't have any ATC, so we're going to set this to flight level 330 right off the bat. And we are just about getting ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and close up flight engineer panel here. Let's get our fuel pumps on. Hydraulics A. Come on. And B. That is good. Landing altitude up here on the panel here is just about 0 because we're landing basically sea level. 330 is set. Checking our oil quantity is good across the board. Why do we just lose our APU? We just lost our APU. Our APU just maxed out. Wow. Wow, we just lost our APU. Alright, let's go ahead. Yeah, you can see that APU generator fail. Never, man. Let's go straight to GPU. What we'll do here, oh, you know what? I had the galley power on. I should have shut that off. External power on. There we go. We're back online. Let's go ahead and trip the APU circuit. And we'll go ahead and shut it off before it catches fire. I overloaded the APU gen. Wow. Another reason why I like this airplane. Keeps you on your toes. So I don't know if I actually overloaded the gen or if it just happened to fail. Master warning. Reset that. We had an APU gen fail. Let's go ahead and repair that. At least it happened on the ground here. Wow. AC gen fail. Let's go ahead and repair that. It's like new. It only has 5.8 hours, but I guess I just overloaded it with galley power. Goodness. Alright, APU can come, or external power. Galley power can come off. External power is on. Let's refire up this APU. Crank. And here we go. Start the APU for the second time so we don't have to do gas. Yeah, I was running. Oh, Phantom, you're right. I had 2 packs running. Phantom's right. I totally forgot I turned the air conditioning packs on the ground here just from Florida. We'll go ahead and kill the packs. Jeez. Now we'll go ahead and open these for engine start. Cooling doors are open. Man, total fail there. Total fail there. You can't run the hydraulics with the APU on. Thank you, sir. That will do it. Either the APU or the PAX. Instantly overheated. Some coffee maker says Wheels. Yeah, that's on me. Alright, I think we're back online. Alright, that is closed. Let's go ahead and turn external power is off. APU is online. Packs are off. Bleed pressure is good. Galley power is off. Fuel pumps are on. Hydraulics are off. Now we're getting ready to push back here. Let's go ahead and get rid of the ground cart, run our checklist, and get ready to start here. So beacon is on. Galley power is off. From the beacon, if I did turn it on, it is on now. Packs are off. Bleed pressure 30 plus PSI, and bleed valves are open. We are looking good, and we're not going to do a power back. We're just going to do a regular pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
We'll just go straight back, and then can you pull us forward to the release line?
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And we'll get rid of all those ground carts out there. Alright, so that was my bad, and I also have the radar on here. That should be off. Alright, so no air conditioning. Fuel pumps are on. Bleed pressure is set. Now we are ready to push back and start. We also need to get on Unicom here when I get back in the cockpit. Hugo says he broke his favorite airplane. Yeah, man, so believe it or not, it's my favorite airplane, but I haven't flown it since the last time we flew it. Well, that's a lie. I flew it one other time off stream, but I haven't really had the time to be flying when I'm not streaming. So if I'm not streaming, I'm not really flying. I haven't been in this airplane for a while. I'm a little rusty, but we're going to get through it together. You can see, though, I haven't cooked any engines. I haven't toasted an airframe.
Okay, all doors and hatches are
I had a
closed.
little oopsie
Ready to
there
connect.
with my APU. So, APU generator's been fixed. Look, someone coming into land over there. Nice. I gotta go ahead and switch to Unicom as well while we're waiting here. 22.8. And we are pushing back. Spot 17. Miami traffic, Bourbon 101. We'll be pushing off gate Echo 20, spot 17, Miami.
Tow connected and bike capstan in service. Release parking brake.
Brakes release. Go to push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Right. Which flight plan site do I use? I use SimBrief for a lot of stuff recently, but before I got on the SimBrief train, I did a lot of my stuff through SkyVector. SkyVector.com, man, will really get you set up where you need to go if you have some knowledge on how to plan your flights. When I do any GA flying, and for this flight, I actually use SkyVector. I did SimBrief initially, but it didn't have the route I wanted, so I kind of tweaked it with SkyVector.
Traffic American 848, vacating runway 27 on Tango.
Shaquille O'Neal says the only way this plane would be better is with the wing outlets, or with the winglets. Other than that, it's amazing. Ooh, yeah. Well, does the one... Do we have a variant with winglets? I guess we
American
don't.
848, clear 27.
I'm going to turn down that volume a little bit there. Robert S. says, hey V1, the pandemic mug is on the way to my home. Robert S., cheers. I got one right here, man. Finishing up my coffee. The pandemic mug will definitely get you through any pandemic. It's rated for coffee, bourbon, and jet fuel as well. So, Robert, awesome stuff, man. Hope you enjoy it, my friend. Put a picture up in the Discord when you get one. Anders says, any chance you could do a flight in a DC-8 one day? In my humble opinion, it's the most nicest plane ever. Do we have a DC-8 for X-Plane? Not that I know of. Not from any traditional developer, I don't think. Cyrus Martin says, sub V1, late, but know what you say, better late than never. You got it, Cyrus. Alright, he's getting us ready, so let's go ahead and we're going to ground 3. We're going to go 3, 2, 1 on the start. Grounding 3. Pressure drops. Start valve open. N2 is on the rise. And did I go through the rest of my checks real quick? Interstar N2 rise about 20%. Interstar valve open. There we go. There's 20%. Light off. We'll watch this one from inside. Exhaust temps on the rise. N1 is spooling up. When the low oil pressure light extinguishes, you know you have that symbolizes a good start, and then you can go ahead.
Operation complete.
Start the second
brake.
one. Brake set. Stand by for disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, we got a good start on 3. You're good to disconnect. Which probably would be how it would go more so. So we got a good start on 3. Let's go ahead and ground 2. We'll cover 3. N2 is on the rise, waiting for 20%. Go ahead and disconnect that headset, sir. There's 20%. Light off. Oh, minivan there. There is a VCA for X-Plane, really?
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, thanks for the smooth push, man. We'll see you next time. Alright, we got 2 good starts. Yes, sir. And we'll go ahead and close that one and ground 1. Here we go. N2 on the rise. %. Fuel. N1 is rotating. Fuel flow is coming up slowly.
Private Jackie, good. American 2808, pushing down from Charlie, correction, from P8, P5, taxi runway 08 right for departure, Miami. Miami traffic, Air Jamaica 15, lining up runway 8 right.
Air Jamaica. Alright, so those are all set. I believe we close 2 and the AP bleed come off. That is open. And cooling packs, we're going to close in a quarter here. 3-0, that looks good. Oil temperatures, pressures are all in the green. Hydraulics coming online. Trip the APU, and we'll go ahead and shut down the APU now. You can hear that APU spooling down. Full 10 amps look good. We'll go ahead and get galley power back on. And we can go ahead and get the PAX operating. Alright, that looks good. We'll leave the temperatures in auto for now. Let's go over our after start checklist here. Anti-ice as required. We don't need it. Pitot heat is on. Flight instruments are set for departure. Oh yeah, that's what I've got to do. We're going to do a flaps 15 takeoff. So 2515. We'll watch them come out here. Dimitri, what is up, man? He says, nothing like working out of your home with V1 in the background on the wall monitor. Dimitri, well, thank you for inviting me into your home this morning, good sir. Welcome aboard, my friend. I already toasted the APU generator. Hopefully I don't make any more mistakes.
Miami traffic, Air Jamaica 15.
Alright, we'll go ahead and set stab trim 15. Alright, here we go. Speed brake is down. Stab trim set for takeoff. Flaps set for takeoff. We got 15 indicating a green light. Galley power is on. Electrical. No lights. Fuel heat is off. Hydraulic pressure and quantity is normal. APU is off. Pressure set for cruise altitude. It is 330. Flight ground switch to flight. I better not guess. Yeah, just that one there. Over to flight. Number 2 bleeds are closed. E-Pure and bugs are set. So we're going to do that right now. We are going to do a flaps 15 takeoff. We'll go ahead and set our bugs. So we got 131, 131, 143. Retraction clean by 200. So that should be good there. Flaps 15, 128. Dump time. Ooh. Alright, everything else looks good there for takeoff. Alright, we are going to taxi to runway 12 via Victor, Quebec.
Miami traffic, Air Jamaica 15, we're up with runway 8 right, final call landing.
Oh, he's landing 8 right. Oh, he's upwind for 8 right, final call, Miami. So he's out of here. He took off of 8 right. You know what? We'll take off of 8 right too. So we're gonna go to 8 right. We'll do it via. Let's see. We'll take Papa. Take Papa all the way to 8 right. How's that? Miami traffic, Bourbon 101. Text to 8 right via Papa, Miami. All right, 8 right, Papa. Flaps are set. Everything is good. You guys ready to roll? Taxi light on. Brakes released. Cinematic.
Miami traffic,
Push away here.
58, we'll be pushing back off gate E24.
Miami traffic, Clipper 1297, extra heading right behind Bourbon over here.
I love that breakaway for us. Too good. my taxiways are kind of jacked up here. I think we're just gonna... I almost feel like I'm taxiing on dirt. Switch pressure from ground to flight. I got it, man. Check altimeters. That's a good call there, Captain Tom. 99. What is our altimeter? Oh, man. Here we go. Details. 3013. Crisis averted. 3013 is set throttle linked, so I don't have to fiddle around here. Alright, here's Papa. Spot 17. So yeah, we're basically going to merge on the Papa right out here, I believe. Liking it, I'm liking it. Sound love emoji for sure, Dimitri. Earphone killer. I'm sorry, I'll turn it down a little bit for you. Let me turn it down a little bit. I don't want to be hurting your ears. Just a little bit though. Let's do another drive-by here. Look at that shot. You can't tell me that is juicy. Oh, Miami Center is online. 3517. All right, let's just go ahead and stop here because I'm sure. Will he give us a taxi clearance? Miami Center just popped on. We're gonna go ahead and stop here.
Miami traffic Challenger 80 Zulu taxiing from Signature. We'll be taking kilo over to 8 left to Miami traffic.
3517.
475, alert capital 223 heavy. Copy 003 headed reback right bed 9 for departure, low raise action.
Miami ADDONS is Alpha. Miami Center, good morning. It's Bourbon Wings 101 with information Alpha.
Bourbon 101, Miami, are you able to set the departure? Oh, you're 17. Never mind. Set bet there's 4 EOs and you already copy clear?
Yeah, stand by 1 second. Shoot, I don't have a pen. I do not have a pen. It's not good. Where's my phone? Notepad.
X-ray Alpha, Alpha Yankee, Juliet, Miami Center, squawk 4762, squawk Vulture.
Miami Center, good afternoon. Air Jamaica 15, we're level 1000.
Air Jamaica 15, Miami Center, good afternoon, squawk 4771.
Squawk
Turn him up a
4771, Air
little
Jamaica
bit.
15.
Am I missing a Bourbon 101 ready to copy?
Bourbon 101 cleared to Kingston via Red Vectors, Eon, status file, maintain 5000, expect flight level 330 in 10, squawk 4550.
All right, cleared to Kingston Radar Vectors Eons as filed 5000, 330 and 10, squawking 4550 for Bourbon 101.
Bourbon 101, reback correct, continue taxi to 8 right, via Papa and Mike 1.
All right, Papa Mike 1 to 8 right, Bourbon 101. All right, squawking 4-5.
Clipper 1297 has information out, so we like to pick by fire to Kingston.
Ooh, Clipper, where's your secret microphone static? All right, 4550 is online, and he gave us initial altitude of 5,000. So let's go ahead and set this back down to 5,000, so we don't blow through that. Radar vectors, as previously briefed. Here we go. Papa Mike 1. Here we go. Give us another opportunity for a breakaway thrust.
Okay, clear to Kingston radar vector Eon, and on files momentum 5000, squawk 4520, clip 1297.
Sleeper 1297, and squawk 4530, reback correct, level lane right.
Squawk 4530, and we were actually...
Oh, that is so awesome.
We're taxi here behind Bourbon 101, so we're ready now.
Alright, so is he in an ERJ? Is a Clipper in an ERJ? That doesn't make any sense.
Roger, we'll continue taxi behind them to 8 right, Clipper 1297.
Alright, Papa 8 right, Mike 1, as previously briefed up to 5,000. Whoa, my ears. Demetrius said, wasn't here from the beginning. Are you doing a proper VOR departure? Demetrius, so out of Miami, the only one that I could file for us was the Miami 6. But it's essentially a VOR, but it's a radar vector. So he's going to give us a radar vector to ADDONS, which essentially is the 151 off of Dolphin, which we already have set up here in our HSI. So yeah, it's essentially a VOR departure, but he's giving us radar vectors out there. Now for the approach and arrival, depending on how we come in there, there is the possibility for an arc to intercept the localizer, so that should be interesting.
2808, read back for it, A right, call for taxi.
Ready for taxi, 2808.
American 2808, runway right, taxi November.
I wonder if there's a way to do a three-way shared cockpit. That would be really cool. I don't know if you can do 3.
November Mike 1, American 2808.
Airways 150, taxi, Papa delivery. Air 150, taxi to Papa.
Alright. 10-9, that looks good. Let me go through some more of our checks here before takeoff. We did those, right? Yes, we did. Clear for takeoff, start switch to guard, transponder is on, menu light can turn on, auto pack switch, we'll switch to norm. And that now. The fuel panel over here. You said 1 and 3 cross streets or should be open. They are closed. I would 1 and 3 be open.
Kingston landing vector to Ian.
I think after takeoff, right? Or am I
Maintaining
mistaken on that
5000,
one?
clearance code 4697.
I thought it was after takeoff. Oh, here we go. So Mike 1, this is that hot spot here.
Right, call for taxi.
We were already taxiing, we are on Papa.
So since we're going to be taking off 8 right, we'll set our heading bug to 080.
Right, taxi to Papa, Mike 1, altimeter 3011.
Taxiing by Papa Mike 1 for runway 8 right, Bourbon 358.
JetBlue 529, radar contact.
Mike 1, Bravo, or Papa. So that's Mike 1 at Bravo, we're Mike 1 at Papa.
Air Jamaica 15, radar contact, I maintain flight level 370.
I maintain 370, Jamaica 15.
X-ray, Yankee and Juliet, radar contact, flight level 410.
You gotta make sure my flight controls are bound properly. That's good. Trim is set. Everything else is set.
You got the plan of 5 arrival? Yeah, well, we can make it 1-5 arrival for...
So after takeoff, we'll be heading select, IAS hold, and altitude select. For our flight director, I'm going to set go around pitch. Give me just a reference. Actually, I'll set heading. This is going to give us the heading, but I'm going to keep it a go around right now until we get a heading for departure. That's an Embraer behind me. You're in an Embraer, Franklin? Alright, we're ready to go. You guys ready to go? We no longer need the 10.9 page. We got the 10.3 up. And yeah, so first fix is going to be ADDONS. 36 miles out.
Bourbon 349, clear to the Kingston Airport, radar vectors to ADDONS, then on file, maintain 5,000, squawk 4751.
Just wait for a moment here, and then we will call for takeoff.
Initial time by 5,000, walking 4751, Bourbon 349.
Bourbon 349, read back correct, say runway 8 right, call for a taxi.
Fine, Sam says fake clipper.
Good evening, Miami Center, Challenger 1580, Zulu, short 8 left at kilo.
Oh, Phantom says you're in a 7.2, it's the crap model matching. Ah, sorry, dude. I wish I could see a 7.2 back there. Man, I gotta figure out how to get better model matching on this. I would love to see a 7.2 behind me. Can you, am I a 7.2 for you? PanAM existed in 2021, spotter says, yeah.
Maintain 5,000, initial climb, got 4502 in the box.
And, excuse me, Challenger, A0 Zulu, read back correct, spare A left, and call when you are ready to go.
Sam. Miami Center, Bourbon 101, hold short 8 right, Mike 1 ready for departure.
Bourbon 101, wind 14010, runway right, clear for takeoff.
Alright, so we're just going to fly heading, alright, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff, Bourbon 101. So, we're just going to fly runway heading then?
Capital 626, heavy ready for taxi.
Let's light them up.
Capital 2.
I'm sorry, Capital 203.
Runway 9er, taxi is here at 01.
Airbus here, 01, thanks.
I'm a land 320.
Runway right,
For you, Mateo? Dang. I will forewarn you, watch your ears on takeoff, because I'm going to probably do a flyby view, and it'll probably be loud.
Runway 8 left, line up away.
1 runway 8 left, 820.
Bourbon 101, after departure, flight heading 120.
Alright, on departure, we'll fly heading 120, Bourbon 101. Alright, so there's our heading, 120 on departure.
Sleeper 12,
We'll go around mode, and then I'll flip the heading after we get to 400 feet.
1 way 8 right,
Let's do this.
97.
What's our EPR? I should have checked. Stand by. We're looking for 2.15. Here we go. Get them stable at 50. I can't do a cinematic spool up, unfortunately, or else I'll cook the engine, so we got to do it from the cockpit here.
3553 heavy, runway right, taxi, November, Mike 1.
I'd love to do it from outside view, but I don't want to toast our engine. So 2.15. Look at our temps are a little hot there. I'm actually going to back it off just a tad. We got plenty of runway. 2.12 works for me. 80 knots, thrust is set.
E1, rotate.
Rotate. Here we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly by. Watch your ears. Headphone users. God, that is amazing. Alright, let's go heading. 120 on the heading. I'm going to go ahead and start backing those ethers back. Just a little bit of temp there. We'll come back to 1.95, 1,000 feet. Flaps 5.
Delta 740, Miami.
1.3, probably 5,000. We're looking good. Another flyby.
8 departure, cambio transition in a file.
With Miami in front of us, look at that. That is so amazing. I'm going to have to turn the autopilot on just so I can see. There's 200 knots. Let's clean it up. They are flap 0, 2 climbing 5, heading 120. I'm going to go ahead and
Miami Central, good morning, American 2289 Chevy with you at Mike. Ready to copy AF4 clearance to Los Angeles.
IS hold for 250 knots. Bring this back. Altitude select, heading is armed. 3.2, climbing 5. We're looking good. Temps look good. We're coming back to 92%.
4526 at the rocks, American 2289.
Capital 203, heavy ready.
Ah, we just entered the clouds. Dang it.
Block.
Continue taxi to a right, American 2289.
Continue taxi to runway 8 right, 2289, thank you.
4 for 5,000 to go.
Bourbon 101 and say how to leaving.
Bourbon 101, we're 4.3 for 5,000.
Bourbon 101, you have radar contact, line of maintain, flight level 330. And turn right, heading at 180, direct EONs.
Alright, right turn 180, direct EONs, 1 able, comma maintain, flight level 330, Bourbon 101. Alright, 330, we gotta go back to altitude, select, we go IAS hold, altitude select, and that's good, 180, we're back in the climb. Wow, we're over speeding.
Heavy ready to go.
Kind of blew through that 250 there a little bit. It's alright. Come on back. There should be a speed hold.
Runway 9er, line of plane.
Line of plane 9er, thank you.
Let's speed back down. that speed back down. We're on IAS hold, there we go. So we just overshot it there a little bit.
Delta 1724, Miami Center, squawk 4740.
Another flyby. What do we got here? We got our pitot heats on. I don't think we're picking up any ice, so we're going to keep the wing heats off. We got our windows and pitos on.
X-ray Yankee Juliet, expect the visual approach
doing all right right now. We're about to bust out of the top here. Alright, we'll go ahead and get our thrust back up. Increase our climb rate now, and we're back to 250 knots. Alright, so we are waiting to intercept the outbound Eons, of course 151. There we go, we're out of the top now.
Miami Central America 22 right now, why don't you hold at Mike 2, there's a lot of traffic.
Cloud surfing on top.
Sounds good to me. You're going to be behind all those guys.
You guys need to hit the like button for that takeoff. That was sweet. That flyby shot with Miami in the foreground. Man, if you guys like anything aviation, you gotta hit the like button for that because that was a pretty sweet shot there.
Clipper 1297, flight heading 120.
Yeah, tartan sauce. Yeah, I totally toasted the 250 there. Got away from me on that. When it gave me that altitude change, as I was spinning the dial, we went into level mode. We went into altitude hold mode, so there's no auto thrust, right? So what happened on that exact overspeed, airplane leveled off at 5,000, and I was too busy spinning this to 330. Thrust never came back. Airspeed increased. But there's 10,000. We go ahead and step it up now. We're just going to slowly increase this because if you just spin this all the way up, the airplane will actually level, and you don't want to do that. So you could do a vertical speed here as much as well, but I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I'm going to make it about a 190 heading so we actually get on the airway here. And we're looking good. So let me check. After Eons, we just want to fly that 151 all the way until we intercept the outbound from Gila, which is 17.4, which we still haven't picked up yet, so we got a long ways to go. We'll be alright. Do about 270 in the climb. We're at a 10. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our lights off. Strokes can stay on max, beacon, the logos can come off. And let me look at the rest of our checks here. After takeoff checklist, come back over here, make sure everything else is good. Auto pack check normal. And we're going to go ahead and open the 1 and 3 cross feeds. Alright. Seatbelt stay on, anti-ice are closed, gear is up. Oh, we need to turn it off, that's right. Look how rusty I am. Up and off, flaps up, no lights, auto pack trim, cutout. Oh, really? Shoot. Okay, right. Back to cutout. Pressures, quantities, oil. Pressures look good. Come down here, look at our hydraulics. They look good. Pressure is checked and set. Cabin is climbing to 330. We are pressurizing. All right. After takeoff checklist is complete.
American 173 with Alpha.
That's all she wrote.
Tampa.
Go ahead and increase the speed a little bit more. 270.
173 Miami.
I'm going to give it just a little bit more juice there. 90, more percent. We'll do about 1.8. 8.8. Yeah, we'll do 1.89 on the Ebert.
4707 American 173.
A little bit more than the normal climb cruise power, but that'll work.
Hey, ready for departure.
Bring my Ebert bugs down.
4,600 now, Clipper 1297.
Alright. Now I can get back to the chat, guys. Apologize for
1,100 for 5,000.
kind of ignoring you there, but as you saw, this airplane is pretty user... I mean, it's pretty high demand for the user. So. Actually, we flew past our course. Look at that. See, I thought I could relax. We already flew past Eons. I didn't have nav set up. Yeah, we're turning. Rip. I thought I could relax. Cannot relax in this airplane. I flew past our course line. You could arm the nav, but I didn't want to turn the other way. Man.
Bourbon 2, Bourbon 358. Caution we're turbulence for the departing Airbus 767.
We didn't fly past it too far. They're only one dot. Back in this day and age, in this aviation, I think you could have pretty much, your tolerances were a little bit more forgiving than they are nowadays. Alright, so we pretty much flew past Dion's, but we're back to on the nav right now. So we're going to fly this outbound. We're 38 miles out. We're going to track this outbound for quite a while here. I'm going to work it back in. 18.5, we'll go ahead and dial in standard.
X-ray, Julie, Alpha Yankee, Julie, right, maintain 6,000.
I thought they were synced. I guess they're not synced. 2902 is set.
Continue on the approach.
I like to kind of work this with the heading bug here, make sure we intercept our course. And then we'll go into nav mode. So we'll go nav loc.
That's for American 2830.
Nav loc. VOR loc, VOR loc. We want to make sure these match up. Altitude select is armed. 92, temps are looking good, and we're tracking outbound. Now we can relax. Not relax, but jeez. I need some more coffee. Look at that crosswind. Jeremy says the 7.2 is unforgiving and will punish you. Yeah, definitely. And I'm getting punished right now. Alright, here we go. We're back on it.
Passing altitude 1,400, Bourbon 358.
Set standard is set. We're good to go, man. We should do a 727 Bourbon group flight, guys, if you want. This is a 727 group flight. Man, I got the group flight info in the Discord. So I put in the nav, the navigation, the airways, and everything that we're flying. But yeah, this is kind of a Bourbon group flight right here. I can hear them all on ATC. Let's see, let's pull up the map.
Okay, take off at right 2808.
So you can see my oopsie. See, look, at least looks like Phantom captured the airway properly. I did this little oopsie right there. But we're on the airway, we're outbound. Look at the line for takeoff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a Bourbon coming out. There's a Bourbon 358 on departure. I love that. Pan American 1297. There's a Clipper. Awesome. Lining them up. Need more coffee? Just call Phantom. He's the airline flight attendant. Phantom, hook me up with some more coffee, please. Man, we need to do. So I have not even dabbled in the prospect of a multi-crew in the 727. For those that are in the know, is that even a thing? I know you need the Smart Copilot config file for the aircraft that you want to do a multi-crew with. And I think somebody posted it in the Discord, but I wasn't exactly sure how accurate that was. If it is possible, that would be really cool to do a multi-crew in the 7.2, because this is one airplane where you really need it. Alright, so I'm just going to look at my routing here, outbound until we intercept 117.4, course line was basically 359, 360. So, if I shift over here to this seat, it was a 360 outbound, so 180 inbound, which would be 179, because it's really 359. So that will be our inbound course, but we haven't picked up VOR-2 yet. So we are just solely tracking outbound. We're 61 miles from ADDONS. This chart will no longer be of help for us, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll go ahead and get rid of Miami. The next thing we will need will be Norman Manley International. We'll load up the 10-9, and we will also load up the arrival, which we filed the Kilo 3. I made a slight adjustment to our route. I think we're coming in, is it Kembo? I have to look at our route again. But yeah, Manly will be 15.5, but that'll be eventually what we get to. Right now, we are just hanging out, tracking the airway outbound. This is our, I believe this is our changeover point. Will it tell me? There's Ursus, yep. So there's Ursus, and then we're gonna go outbound from there.
08, flight to report.
Airport 2000.
349 radar contact on maintain flight.
25.5, we're climbing out. West 92%. 25.6, 330. There we go. 300 watching and just 169 likes. Ouch! Guys, hit. All right. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do a like for this flyby. I'm going to boost the audio a little bit. So if you're a headphone user, use caution. But you cannot tell me these flyby sounds are not worthy of a like. So here we go. If you're a headphone user, use caution. Here we go. Alright, if you haven't hit the like button, you gotta hit it for that. Look at the triple exhaust coming out. I absolutely love this airplane. Yes, sir. Alright, let me turn you back down a little bit so we don't blow your ears out. We're gonna go to the... yeah, we'll go to the outside view just for a little bit. Oh, my ears. We got a... Sorry for that. Sorry for that eardrum blowout there. But I had to do that for the likes. Anyway, Dragon Ruins, welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Thank you. Exclamation point welcome for more information on your new perks. Flying Bicycle and also a new members. Thank you for that. I don't know why. I guess my alert box is just being finicky, man. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. At least it's not working for the new members. Let me see. It should. See, like when I test it, it should work. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not popping up. But Dragon Ruins, thank you, and Flying Bicycle, welcome to Private Pilot, both of you. Again, exclamation point welcome for your new perk information. The biggest of which is going to be, you know, in the community tab for the private pilots. I post different polls and things for the private pilots. Matter of fact, the private pilots and commercial pilots voted for the livery for this flight on the 7.2, which it came very close to between the V1 livery and the PanAM livery. But also, if you are a Discord user, you can sync your YouTube to your Discord, and you'll get access to the V1 After Dark channel, where I post a lot of membership-only stuff as well. And if you have a question for me, if I'm not actively present in the Discord, which I try to be, guys, I really try to be active in the Discord. I try not to just be absent, like, you know, but sometimes I can't be. But if you have a question for me, when you post in the V1 After Dark section, I get notifications, so it's a lot easier for me to respond and get back to you in a timely fashion. But again, I do try to be active for all members of the Discord. We got a lot of good guys in there. Got a couple of real-world pilots, air traffic controllers, so anything aviation-related, I think we can help you out. Ranger says, I love this plane, just my sim crashes with it a lot. Uh-oh. Hopefully that's not foreshadowing. That camera angle is juicy, I agree, man. Just sitting here looking at that. Oh, I love it. And this livery, too. Miss Jungles, I don't know if you're still in the house, but give a pat on the back to old Jungly Sim out there for getting this livery. This is still one of my favorites. You guys are wondering about the registration numbers, so both the 732 and the 727 have my dog's names as the registration numbers. So I got Holly and Stanley. But I love it. I even think this livery has a retro look to it, you know? Matt Haynes, welcome. He says, hi, V1, just a bit late to the party. Hope you're well, dude. I'm doing great, Matt. Welcome aboard. Better late than never, my friend. Golden State, I agree with you, dude. Total juice on this livery.
American 2289 Heavy, stay on.
3,200 for 5,000, American 2289.
You can see the airplane here trying to correct for the wind correction. It looks like Phantom is trying to play games. It's trying to play games with catching up to me here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more juice. Uh-oh. Don't descend. Actually, what did we lose here? What do we need?
One last via whiskey.
Engine 2-3 request maintenance? What? Why do I need maintenance on these engines? Everything is fine. Alright, we're going to back off the power then. Is it just maintenance time? What is going on? Engine 1, 2, and 3 maintenance? Maybe I'm pushing them too hard. Okay, let's back it down. Let's back it down. What is going on? Everything is fine. Cabin's pressurizing. Let's go ahead and set... I wanted to check something here. Optimum altitude is 35. Let's go ahead and get up to altitude. Alright, so we just picked up DME 2. That's good to know. VREF says, is this going to be a race? It might have. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to race now because I got engine maintenance requirements here. I'm going to back down. I got a 92%. We don't have any failures. Everything looks good. Let me check my hydro. Pneumatic brake pressure is fine. Hydraulic brake pressure is fine. Let's go over to the flight engineer panel. Hydraulic pressures are good. Quantities are fine on all systems. Fuel is good. We don't need to heat our fuel, so that's not it. Oil pressures are pretty high, but they're still in the green. Cabin is doing just fine. Packs are doing just fine. Engine 2 bleeds are closed, as they should be. I'll probably close the cooling doors a little bit. Let's close them. Cracked, just because we're still climbing. Everything is showing normal. Alright. Well, as soon as we get to 33... Phantom wants to race me here. Unacceptable. Alright, but we do have to think about changeover points as well. So, on my Sky Vector, as we approach Ursus, I said it was the 359 inbound, which is 179, so we're getting there. We're getting there. It's going to be a 179 on the heading. Look above me, apparently, he says. What a monkey. What do you got up there? Where is he? I don't see him yet. He says he's above me? Uh-oh. He should be slightly above and to our left. I don't see him. We'll keep going. We're 32, climbing 33, 1 to go. Do a barrel roll. No, we're not going to do that, my friend. Yeah, I checked all the warning bulbs. All right, we got 1,000 feet to go. We're going to level at 33. Then we're going to juice it up here. We're approaching Ursus. As a matter of fact, we just hit Ursus, so I'm going to go heading mode. Heading select.
Bourbon 101, Lima airspace, radar service terminated. Frigate change the proof.
All right, have a good one. Thanks for the ATC, Bourbon 101. All right, 22.8, and now what we're going to do here is we're got a lot going on. So VOR low, then we're going to switch our VOR over to 17.4, and it was the 359 inbound. So let's flip this around, or so 179 inbound. And we need to come a little bit more right. And then we'll intercept and continue down on this airway here. We're leveling 330. Coaster Commons 0.9. Yeah, max speed. Actually, yeah, 0.9 is pretty darn close. I know they can cruise at above 8.5, which from what I've heard, it got a little sketchy when you start doing that. Parts of the airplane start becoming supersonic. We do have a nice little wind there pushing us, so we're going to flip that over just a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead and put you right back into nav-loc mode. Just see it capture. There you go. See how it oscillates when you go straight to nav-loc mode. So I try to tame that with the heading bug. And we are going to be in altitude hold mode here. So as soon as we reach 33, we'll select altitude hold on for the flight director. We'll bring our power back a tad as well. Tom says it's just a time thing. That's what Tom said. Okay, yeah, so it is just a time thing. I've flown a lot on the engines that required maintenance. All right, well, good to know. Then in that case, we're just going to keep it. We're going to keep the throttle down, my friend. We're looking good. Everything is still in the green. So as soon as we level, we'll see what our speed does. But we're cruising now. You're rocking the Challenger 300 TBM life? Awesome, dude. All right, so now altitude select. Airplane is captured flight level 330. Alt. Altitude hold. Nav loc. I'll recenter that. And now we're going to continue on down. Gulf 430. Southbound all the way. You can't see the changeover point now, but it is 179. Let me just verify. I think it is, yeah, so it'd be 179. Yeah, 179 inbound all the way down to Ciego de Avila VOR, and then from there we're going to track that outbound on the 172. So what I'll do is I'm going to set up the FO to prepare to track 172. Once we do the changeover point, we're going to cross over the VOR and track 172 outbound. So I'll have that set on his side. And also, we no longer need 13.9, so I will take a look at my nav log. We got 17.4, and then the next one will be 15.7. So I'm going to put 15.7 in the standby. And I will also flip this over to see if it can pick up 15.7, and then our final manly VOR is 15.5. So I'm going to get these set up ahead of time here. But now I'm actively tracking 17.4 on the airway, and I'm waiting for DME2 to populate, which is going to be a long ways out. But you can see we're tracking, so we're looking good. Got our changeover point set. How's our speed doing now? We're approaching 8.2, 8.4, 8.5. Hey, we're gonna just let it rip. You can see the airplane here is struggling a little bit, hunting to maintain course. Phantom says the moment when he realized to isolate the center tank. All right, things are looking good. We got our cross feeds open. We're burning equally 9, 6. Everything is fine there. No need for fuel heat. Fuel temperature is minus 10, so no need the fuel heaters. We're looking good. Hey, let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off, and maybe we can finally start to relax now, huh? No smoking. Smoke them if you got them. And I'm going to bring it back to 1.90 for cruise. Flyby time, and now we can finally take a moment to relax. All right, back outside. Back to our juicy camera view here. All right. Where is the link to the Discord? It should be in the description of Flying Bicycle. Right in the description there, I should have a Discord link. If not, maybe one of the mods can throw you a new invite. But it should be in the description. Now, I also have a VOR tutorial. I know I'm not doing much explaining. I'm trying to do some explaining as we get along here, but this airplane, things happen really fast. Now I'll be able to talk a little bit more about VOR nav. But I have a VOR to VOR navigation tutorial done in the FlyJSim 737. It's a little bit old, a little bit cringy, but I think the content is still really good, and I kind of show you how to use SkyVector as an airway route chart, because if you don't have Avitab, which for some reason, I can't bring up, not AviTab, the Navigraph Charts app, which when I bring it up, I lose my mouse cursor for some reason. So I'm just using SkyVector on the side to get my course headings for the airways. And I show you how to do that with SkyVector and all that. So check that out if you have any questions for VOR nav. But essentially right now we're tracking the airway. We're doing fine. Where we're really going to need to start paying attention is, well, we have to pay attention the whole way. But as we come in here for our arrival now, we're probably going to be landing eastbound would be my guess. And depending where we come in from, if I look at the route, what did I have us here? MLY, Kino, and Cybug. Oh, I actually have us going to Kino. So we might not need to arc. Could do the Kembo transition. What we can do is, I wonder if we can modify this. Let me look at my SkyVector again here. I'm trying to think if I can modify our arrival. I got us coming in from, oh no, I do have us on the Kembo. So yeah, we should be able, we're coming in on the Kembo. No, that's pretty much straight in. I wanted to do an arc. So if you're coming from Savem, that's definitely an arc. Depending on when we pick up the Manly VOR, what I will do for educational purposes, if I can pick up this early enough and we don't have any ATC on, well, it looks like we do have center online, so we may not be able to do it, but I was going to set up an intentional arc here. We'll intercept the 343 inbound, which is the Savem transition, or 163 inbound 343 radial. We'll take that to 20 DME, and then you're going to make an arc to the south to intercept the final approach course, essentially, for Kingston. Let's look at the approaches as well. Actually, before we do any of that, what's the weather down there? Weather 0 or 300 at 6. So if we look at the 10.9 page, we might be landing a 3-0 anyway. So that might have to go out the window. Let me look at approaches. What do we got? We got ILS 12, VOR DME 30. Well, we could do the VOR DME 30. That'll give you an arc. Ooh. Basically, you join a 15 DME arc. So we'll come in on that Kembo transition as we were. We'll have to arc all the way around to the final approach course inbound. We'll get to that when we get a little bit closer. But how are we looking? We're still tracking inbound, 44 miles to go. You got the Discord? Awesome, man. Mateo says I had a massive ice thunderstorm, not showed on the radar, of course, and nearly plummeted to the ground. That's not good. That's not good, man. All right, so at 90, 1.90 EPR, we're doing about 8.8. We're doing almost 8.0, or I'm sorry, almost 9.0. We're gonna walk it back. We're gonna walk it back to 1.85 on the EPR. Let's see if that brings it back down a little bit. I don't want to be on that barber pole, especially an X-plane. You get a wind shift, and it could cause some problems for you. All right, 38 miles to go. Once we get to this VOR, like I said, we're going to track outbound 179. And we can see that here. On our nav log. So 15.7. Magnetic heading 166. Interesting. Oh, 178. Let's see. We're... Oh, no. I was ahead of myself. We're 117.4, so we're looking good. So, yeah, 178. We're tracking down until we cross over the VOR. So, we're looking good. Another flyby shot. We're flying VOR to VOR. Keeps pulling up GPS. Nah, man. No GPS. We're just looking at our charts. But that is a point, though. Are we over Cuba? Let's look at our maps. We're over Cuba, right? We're just about to be. Yep. Just going to the top of Cuba right now. 26 miles to the changeover point. Oh, that's kind of a cool shot right there. Different angle on things. All right, so let's talk about our descent preparation. So, because we're not really on any type of, well, we are on the arrival here. Manly is showing at or above 5. Ideally speaking, if we don't have ATC on, we want to be about 10,000 feet, 30 miles from the airport. So let's do a quick math computation here. We're at, we're at 33, right? Yeah, we're at flight level 330. We want to get down to 10,000 feet. So if we do 33 minus 10, 23,000, we'll drop the zeros, we'll call it 23, multiply it by 3. So 23, that's 46, and 23, 69 miles, so we'll call it 70. And I'm going to give myself about 10 miles for buffer, so about 80 miles from the Manly VOR. If we haven't started our descent, well, we know we should probably start down depending on what air traffic control is, if we have any or not. So again, you take your cruise altitude minus the altitude that you want to be at. So in this case, I want to be at 10,000 feet, and I want to do it 30 miles from the airport. So actually, I need to add 30 to that, right? So 69, we'll call it 70 for easy math, plus 30, because we want to be 30 miles out at 10,000 feet, would be 100 miles. So 100 miles from the Manly VOR, if we aren't starting down or in our descent, we know we have a tendency to be a little bit high. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Mateo says, I ended up nearly stalling at 20,000 feet and lost 3,000 feet. I was a few degrees from flying inverted. Mateo, were you in the 732? I remember you asked about it in the Discord. I wasn't sure. Are you in the 732 that happened? Man. Gaming Raptor says, hello. What's up, man? Have you got snow where you live? I do not have snow today. I know we were supposed to at one point, but we didn't get any, actually. Today, you know, it's supposed to be mild this afternoon. I think it's supposed to actually warm up to the 50s, so no snow for us. But it was pretty darn cold the other day. Yesterday was cold, too. It was in the 40s. Definitely get freezing at night. We get freezing temperatures at night, but no snow. Al W says, V1 back in the day, I did a VOR-VOR DFW LA with paper charts. Oh, man, really kept me busy. I also bought a lot of printer cartridges back in the day. Al, that's funny. You know, I have, so after we got rid of the paper charts, as you know them, or the JEP charts, and we went to EFBs, a lot of the guys celebrated by burning them or, you know, blowing them up with tannerite, depending on what part of the country you were on. But I kept a lot of my en route charts. Why are we turning? Don't turn on me. Oh, we just hit the changeover point. So what did I say it was? 172. 172 outbound. And we need to go to heading mode. Man. Oh, come back this way. So I have a lot of my old school JEP en route charts, which that would be a lot of fun if I did a flight with paper charts on the sim. Looking at using my old JEP charts. Man, I wouldn't even remember how to unfold those. Like, there's a certain ways that you can unfold an en route chart and it'll be in the exact spot you want it to be on, so you don't have to fumble around, but I'm probably so out of practice, I don't know. And the paper charts were so thin, at least the Jeppesen ones, that if you folded them multiple times, they'd end up getting really thin and fade, and they would fade out on the crease lines, and sometimes they would even tear. And it would never fail. The time where you actually needed to pull out your chart and find where you were going, you would have a hole in your chart exactly where you wanted to look. And it was unreal, man, how that always happened. But all right, here we go. We're 172 outbound now. Tracking outbound. Man, that Challenger is cooking. That guy's passing us. All right. Plus, it might be a wind discrepancy, but there we go. So we're outbound now. Let me pull back to where we were. All right, so 172 outbound. We're going to follow this all the way down until, well, CCAM intersection will be identified 40 prior to Sangster, which is 15.7, which we still haven't picked up anything on 15.7. That's interesting. Hopefully we pick up something there from Sangster. How long is that leg? That leg is pretty long. Yeah, 51 miles. Oh, no. That's more than that. It's 125 miles, so that's why. So hopefully at about 75 miles or sooner from the VOR we just transitioned over, we will start picking up Sangster VOR information. Now, depending on what charts you use, there will be a changeover point, sometimes depicted by a little bracket on your airway. If you don't have a changeover point or you're just going by rule of thumb, go halfway. So if I know my airway outbound is going to be 172 degrees for 125 miles, at about 60 miles or 62 miles, if you want to be precise, you should change over and fly inbound on the radial that you're flying, or the VOR flying that you're flying to. So we're leaving one VOR for another VOR at the halfway point, switch over and actively track so you're getting closer to the station instead of away from the station. It keeps the accuracy a little bit better, keeps the plane from hunting a little bit, especially in real life anyway. I don't know how DCS, how X-Plane does it. X-Plane does a pretty good job, especially with the FlyJ stuff. When you're doing VOR nav, I find it pretty realistic flying over VORs and changeover points and things. So I will give credit to X-Plane. I think their VOR navigation and FlyJ Sim, the way it tracks these radials, is pretty accurate. So yeah, if we don't see anything here by 60 miles, we might start getting a little bit nervous, but we know we got to go 125 miles. Depending on the classification of VOR station, your range may be limited. And remember, VORs are also line of sight. So if you're flying in mountainous terrain and you're blocked by terrain, you're not going to pick up the signal until you get to an azimuth where you can actually have a line of sight to the station. But we're flying pretty much over nothing land. So if I pull up the chart here, so we're going to the south of Cuba. So you can see, you can't even see the VOR that we're tracking. It's down here, or that we're flying to. But anyway, things look good. Let's go back outside. Let's zoom out a little bit. I do like this view right here. Where's that shot? Right about there. I think that's the juice. What about the crossfeed? Should it be closed now? It probably should. Dang it. How are we looking? Oh, look at that. Isolation begins. Right on time. Probably could have got another 100 pounds, but you guys are good. Good call on that. Who was that? Quasimodo? You got it, my friend. Phantom said they also rip out of the binder all the time. You had to have a box of those whole repair stickers. Yep. So the binder it's like a 4-ring binder or whatever, sometimes more, 5-ring binder that would have your charts in them, your actual approach charts, and they would tear and fall out. I remember one time, allegedly, that we were flying to an airport, allegedly in bad weather, and the chart that we needed was allegedly missing, and the first officer's chart was allegedly not exactly the right chart. That was an interesting time. But that was all allegedly done, so if the FAA is watching, I don't know anything about it. But yeah, paper charts, man. Our flight kits, when you had paper charts, I mean, I don't know what yours weighed, Phantom, but mine was probably 80 pounds, with no exaggeration, probably 80, 85 pounds. I know some guys had heavier, some guys had lighter. I tended to carry more than I needed just because I felt like, well, if I need it, I'd rather have it than need it and not have it. I'll carry the extra weight. So I would carry binders. I know guys would take a lot of charts out that were not in the airport or the op spec for landing. So when you're back in the paper chart days, you know, you're only authorized to land at certain airports. Essentially, you have a bunch of like authorized, unless it's an emergency. So a lot of guys would take out all the little GA airports and lighten up their load. I didn't really do that. I got into the habit of not updating those per se, because I knew we would never be going in there. Like, if there was a runway that was 3,000 feet long, I'm probably not going to go in there. So I wouldn't really care about that airport. Try to lighten the load a little bit. But when you have all those charts, it's not very easy to carry around. Taylor says, yeah, on the 732, this thing is so underpowered, not even funny. I'm still 4,000 feet away from top of the climb. Wow. Jeremy says there was a famous dive incident with the 72 TWA 841. They flew at high speed with one of the slats extended. Oh, yeah. Yep. I also had a guy tell me a story on the jump seat. He was an old 72 driver. He said that if you manually extended one of the slats, you could change the AOA on the wing to where you could fly past the barber pole. So they would pull the circuit breaker for the barber pole, and you got to remember, this is way back in the day. They'd pull the circuit breaker for the overspeed. They would manually extend one of the slats or something. I can't remember exactly what they did to the airplane, but essentially what would happen is there was a circuit breaker for a boost pump or something that they had to pull. And if you push the circuit breaker back in, the pump would energize and it would retract the slat or whatever it was on the wing that they would manually extend. So he's telling me this. He was a first officer on a 72, and they had a new flight engineer on the flight deck that he went to use the lav. And they were configured. They said, hey, let's go ahead and bump it up. We'll do our thing. I guess it was pretty common. I'm all being told this secondhand. And apparently, when the flight engineer came back into the cockpit, he's like, oh, what's this doing out? And he pushes it back in. Slat retracts. Airplane overspeeds. Big, not an upset, but they kept it under control. But just one of those things that, like, why did you do that? Some typical new guy thing. Quasimodo, there you go. Pull the circuit breaker for slat and set flap to 2. Quasimodo, there you go. That sounds about right, man. Phantom said those things were quite a pain. We had we had ship sets. What? Except when I flew Brasilia, we had to have our own. Wow. I think we had. We did have ship sets, if I'm not mistaken, but they were. I think they were sealed, so you couldn't use them. It was an emergency. Yeah, we definitely had ship sets, but they were sealed, and if you opened it, you had to notify somebody. Which essentially, if you open it, then you're self-notifying that you don't have your charts, which self-notify that you violated the law. So that's kind of a catch-22. But I guess it's better to violate yourself than to crash an airplane. But yeah, we did have ship sets as well. But we had to carry ours, even with the ship sets. They were not to be used on a regular basis. VREF Simmer says, my flight kit was quite heavy. I do not miss those or the rush to get jet provision before the start of a trip. VREF, oh yeah, man. I used to hate that. You go down to the crew room. I don't even go to the crew room anymore. But when you used to go down to the crew room, there we go. So we're 84 miles. We're tracking 133. So we're looking good. Oh, ATC 25.4. But yeah, before a trip, when I would go down to the crew room, you could just tell if you were going to have an issue because you open we call it a V file, and if there was a big package in there, you had a lot of JEPs to do before the start of a trip. Now, you had the little manila folders. I think they were manila colored if they were just, a couple charts. But I remember getting the big white ones, which were about the thickness of a brick, if you imagine a brick. And it was just a big white sealed package with the Jeppesen logo on it. And you knew that you were going to be sitting there for 20, 30 minutes updating your JEPs. Oh, it was brutal. All right, let's call this guy. What do we got? So we got center, good afternoon. Bourbon 101, level 330.
Bourbon 101, Kingston radar, good afternoon. Reset transponder, squawk 6711.
Squawk 6711, Bourbon 101. 6711 is set. We are in TARA. We're not going to do the ident. We're not going to be that guy. Oh, you know what I never did? I never did set the auto brakes for RTO for takeoff. We can go ahead and turn off some of these lights, though. We'll leave the overhead lights on. Oh, it didn't look all that bad. A little bit of lighting on there. All right, so here we go, 97 and 120. So we are actively tracking inbound, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till we are almost dead even between the two. So apparently it was more than 125 miles.
Radar contact, flight level 330, 120 miles north of the Sangster VOR. Welcome on board.
Position checks, Bourbon 101. Welcome. All right, so he gave us our position 120 miles north of the Sangster VOR, which we know we're tracking southbound to the Sangster VOR, and that position checks because we're 116 miles away from DME 2. We have that set over here on our nav 2. It is green, so everything is looking good. He's got our position. We know we're in the right spot, and we're getting close enough now. I'm going to do a changeover. So to do a good changeover, if you're not being super lazy, sync your heading bug, and then I'm going to go into heading mode, and then I'm going to respin my VOR OBS to the inbound course. That way the airplane doesn't start oscillating left to right, and then I'll go back into VOR mode. So here we go. We're going to go heading select, and now I'm going to switch over to 15.7, which is Sangster, and we know we got to track inbound, so I'm going to flip the arrow, the head of the needle to the station. I had it right. I don't know why I spun it all the way around there. And it was one. Let me verify that the inbound is still, there is no changeover. It is 354, so that's 174 inbound. So 174 is what we want to track inbound. So you see how there's just a slight offset there? Instead of the airplane starting to fishtail around, I'm just going to do a slight little heading bug correction here. Keep it nice and smooth for the passengers. Here at Bourbon Airways, we like to keep it nice and smooth, just like our Bourbon. Got a nice little intercept angle lined up there, so now we'll go back into nav loc track. So VOR loc, altitude is still in hold mode, and there's our changeover. So we just changed over to the station.
Good afternoon, Air Jamaica 15, level 370.
Jamaica 15, Kingston Radar, good afternoon. Reset transponder, squawk 6707.
Squawk 6707, Jamaica 15. Good evening, Kingston Radar Challenger 800, level 450.
The 727 flap and flight, it was TW841. So that's what it was.
Good afternoon, squawk 6774.
So that's probably the story he was telling me about.
6774, 800.
What's one Airbus you'd really want to fly?
Jamaica 15.
Probably the A350, man. I think the A350 is really sharp looking. I think it is really sharp looking. Alright, after we hit Sangster, it's 124 outbound. 124 outbound to Kingston. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get a little bit closer. Right now, we're looking good. So I didn't know that instant he was talking to was TW841. I wonder if there were other instances where guys got away with it, and then TW841 is where they got in trouble with the dive into Mach Tuck. So that was, I'm speculating here, was TW841, was that a Mach Tuck incident where the flaps retracted or something, and that's why they dove, because they went into Mach Tuck? I'm going to have to look that up after this stream. I know that flight number sounds familiar to me, but I can't remember exactly the premise of TW841, but I will have to look it up after this. Is there a speed limit on airport taxiing? Depends on what your company says. Sometimes your company will impose limitations. I know flying a freight and turboprops, they said, hey, don't exceed, I think it was 20 knots unless you're on wide open taxiways in big international airports. If you're taxiing a Beechcraft around or a little Piper Chieftain and you're a big wide open taxiway, you can go up to 30 knots. That was a company imposed limitation. But as far as an FAA imposed limitation, there is a note in the AIM, or the Aeronautical Information Manual, wow, I had to think about that, that says your taxi speed should not be that greater of a brisk walk. So whatever you classify a brisk walk as. Now, unless you're flying Southwest and doing the speed walking competition in the Olympics, But yeah, 30 knots, the airplane will start telling on you too, depending if you have a reporting system on your aircraft, depending on what airplane you're flying. They will continuously send updates, and there are certain parameters that trigger what we call FOQA. And people monitor that so they can see, hey, this airplane was taxiing at 35 knots. What the heck's going on? So then they'll call the crew, a week later saying, hey, you remember this flight? Like, yeah, I remember that. It was a good trip. Well, you were taxiing at 37 knots on the Kilo Echo Gulf route to 17 right in Dallas-Fort Worth. Can you explain that? Like, oh, yeah. And you can get violated. So you got to be careful. 30 knots is probably the highest that you'll see anybody go within reason. Again, Southwest, they have their own rules. Bravo Tango says there's something beautiful about no winglets. I agree, man. I do like the clean wingtips. Alex Friedman, I'm taking my PPL written soon. Any advice for studying for the oral? Oh, nice, man. So, Alex, my advice for you would be kind of what I tell anybody who's going in for any type of check ride or for oral. Study so you feel prepared, right? You have to study. You can't go in not studying. And by now you should probably kind of develop your own study habits for your PPL. But once you feel confident with the information, my biggest piece of advice for you is to speak confidently when you get in the room and you're doing your oral exam. Don't second guess yourself, because the examiners are going to look for that. And when he's like, well, I think it's this, then you're going to set yourself up for more questions, and they're going to start to dig. So it's kind of like that PIC, pilot in command training, right? Take command of your answer, state the answer, leave it at that. Don't go off on a tangent. If he asks you for a specific answer, give him the answer and stop. Even if you know more about it, whether it's a systems question or limitation question, give him the answer and stop, and be confident in your delivery. That would be my piece of advice to you. And again, you can really only do that if you are indeed prepared. So make sure you are studying beforehand. Make sure you are prepared. But once you get in that room, be confident, give him exactly what he wants, and shut up. Don't say anything else, because that's how you can go down a rabbit hole in the wrong direction. App reviewer says, how often does a call like that happen? Well, it depends on how much you violate the parameters of your airline. So if you're violating it frequently, they're going to pull you and they're going to put you in for remedial training, or worst case scenario, they could fire you over that, because you're not following your company procedures. So you're violating company SOPs, which is a termination or a fireable offense. Libyan pilot says, V1, I'm getting really pissed off on math and algebra, and I was wondering, do you ever use algebra or functions when flying a plane or aviation in general? So generally speaking, you're going to be using basic math in aviation. There are some instances where you do have to use a little bit more advanced math. And I know depending on where you train to get your ratings, I know in, EASA, in the European sector of aviation, you actually take your commercial or ATPL theory before you do anything with your private pilot, which is mind-blowing to me. So you have to know how to do some conversions on that side of things. But as far as when you're actually in the airplane flying, a lot of it is simple math. You do conversions with larger numbers, depending on the size of your airplane. You might do some large fuel conversion numbers to kilos. You might do weight and balance conversions. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much your simple 3-to-1 stuff. Cruise altitude minus bottom altitude, divide it, subtract it, multiply it by 3. Basic math. You're not really going to be using too much algebra in the cockpit. At least nowadays. Back in the day, maybe. Captain Tom said, I need to bounce off to learn about flying stuff. Captain Tom, take it easy, bro. Descend and maintain flight level 200, Bourbon 101. All right, so descent. My favorite way to descend in this type of airplane is using an IAS hold. So I'm going to set flight level 200. My speed is already set, right? 1.84 EPR. We're doing about 8.86 on the Mach. So as long as I don't touch the throttles, nothing's going to change. So I've got 200 set. Now I'm going to select IAS hold. From there, I'm going to retard the throttles slightly. So let's bring it back to 1.75 to start. Now, as I reduce thrust, I'm no longer going to be able to maintain my speed. So the airplane is then going to have to pitch down to maintain that speed. Now, I had a little bit of jump in altitude there because I wasn't quite set exactly on my speed bug. Let's bring it back a little bit more. Let's do 2%. Let's go 1.65 on the EPR. And you could see, because we cannot maintain the same speed that we had in cruise, the airplane begins to trickle down. Now I'm going to just kind of use my thrust levers to control my vertical speed. So I'm going to keep walking it back nice and slow. You don't want to jerk these things back. Nice and slow here. Let's go ahead and bring it down. 1.5. Let's see where that ends up. Also, once we've initiated our descent, make sure you select altitude select, or else you will blow right through your altitude and it will not be good. So altitude select arm, VOR loc, we're tracking. Let's go ahead and start focusing on what we need to do here because we're actually getting close. So we're 28 miles from Sangster. So we need to get back to our map here. After Sangster, we got to track to 124 outbound. So I'm going to go ahead and spin my heading bug to 124 right now so I don't forget. I'm also going to come over here to my FO side, and I'm going to set his course to 124 just so I have a backup. And I'll go ahead and spin his heading bug over, 124.
Maintain 17,000 QNH 1010.
All right, we're doing 1,000 feet per minute. Let's go ahead and increase that a little bit more. Let's come back to 1.44 on the EPR. Let's see what that gives us. Maybe 1,200 or so. All right, after we cross over Sangster, we're going to be outbound on the 124, and then we're going to be tracking inbound to our final VOR, which is Manly, which is 15.5. So I no longer need 17.4, so I'm going to put 15.5 in the standby here. And I'm going to put 15.5 in the VOR 2, which we see we're already actively receiving VOR 2 information. So that is good to know.
All right, squawk 6704, code control 97.
Now you can see over here on my FO side, you can see that we have a nice little intercept to join the 124 radial. Now as you get right over the top of a VOR, you're going to have what's known as the cone of confusion. Oh, forgot to turn the altitude hold off there on the flight director. The cone of confusion, which I explained in detail in that VOR to VOR navigation video that I have on my channel. So don't be alarmed when things start to shift around on you here. Just pay attention to your DME. When this goes full deflection and you get a flip over, we'll go ahead and start the turn. I'm going to go ahead and keep bringing that thrust back now so we can increase that rate of descent. I want to get down there a little bit faster because we're 83 miles from Manly. We said 100 miles out would be a good descent. Descend to and maintain 900,000, Bourbon 101. Okay, so now he wants us down to 9,000. We know we needed about 90 miles, so we're a tad behind. So let's go ahead and pick this up here. Nice and easy. Let's go ahead and bring it all the way back. Try to keep those temps in the green there. Don't want to go straight back to idle. We do have a speed brake available if we need it. Matter of fact, I'm going to just crack it a little bit here. Now look, just a little bit of speed brake or spoid brake really gets our descent going.
Kingston radar clear to the Fort Lauderdale Airport via radar vectors Bordeaux. Flight plan.
All right, here we go. We got to pay attention now. So we're 8 miles from the changeover.
6746.
Now, because of slant range air, it's actually going to change before we get to 0.
Yeah, we're clear to the Fort Lauderdale Airport. Radar vectors Bordeaux. To the south. Cloud 5,000, and we'll squawk 6746. JetBlue 326.
JetBlue 326. Read back correct. QNH 1015. Advise when ready for taxi. Push and start is at your discretion.
All right, we also have to start looking at this. No ATIS. No ATIS yet. I'm gonna ask the controller what runway they're landing.
205 is
And Kingston Bourbon 101, do you know what runway they're landing down there?
Runway 12 is in use.
Roger that, thank you, sir. All right, 12 is in use. There's our changeover, right? So let's go ahead and go heading mode. 124, here we go. I'm going to spin my needle to 124. And to be technically correct, I should stay on this VOR until halfway and then changing, but I'm going to make it easier on myself and do 15.5 124 inbound, so I don't have to do another changeover point. So you can see now I'm tracking to the Manly VOR. Ideally, you'd want to wait till about halfway and then switching over for maximum accuracy. But again, I'm flying single pilot in a 3-crew airplane here, so I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself. We're now on VOR track outbound. We're 70 miles out. We need to be at 9,000 feet. So let's just call it 10,000 and so we need to go ahead and continue to pick up this descent right here.
Clipper 1297 at
Go ahead and bump up the sound just a little bit.
From the Sierra India Alpha.
So he said they're landing 1-2 in use.
And maintain flight level 200.
So we don't need the 3-0 chart.
Alright,
ILS 1-2.
Sierra India Alpha, we'll just maintain Bravo 200, Clipper 1.
Let's go ahead and set this up. 109.1. We're going to need that and the standby. So 109.1.
Kingston radar Bourbon 358, flight level 330.
Bourbon 358, Kingston radar.
109.1 is set. Our final approach course will be 123 degrees. That makes it easy because we know our runway is 12. And we are going to be tracking on the 124 inbound. So we're pretty much set up for a straight in. So no need to arc on this one. We will have to do a separate video on arcing. I did do an arc a while ago on my channel in the 727. I think we were in the Canary Islands. IMC below minimums. We did an NDB arc to join. It was brutal, but we got her down. So it looks like we're not going to be arcing today. We should be able to track straight in on the Loke. Final approach fix will be 2,000 feet. He didn't give me an altimeter, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick it up myself here. Altimeter is 3000. 3000 set. 3000 set. We can go ahead and stow those speed brakes now. I feel good about our descent path. One other thing we need to do, let's come back here to our checklist. Descent approach, seatbelt sign. Yep, let's go ahead and clean up the airplane here from cruise. No smoking, come on. Fast seatbelt sign on. Anti-ice is as required. Landing lights will turn on at 10. Altimeters are set. Rad out, we do need to set that, which is going to be 200 feet. It is set. Flight instruments are set. Hydraulic pressure and quantity is normal. Cooling doors are set. We're actually going to open those up here. Where's my reset? Oh, right there. And we're going to open these up. Pressure and quality is set. That looks good. That looks good. Cabin is coming down. We are isolated, burning on tanks. Everything is equal there. Very good. All right. Descent at 340 knots just because we can. You got it, man. All right. Descent approach checklist is pretty much complete. 48 miles. So remember, 30 miles at 10,000 is ideal. So we're looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get down a little bit quicker because I want to slow down too. We're coming down pretty hot here at 350 knots or 300 knots. So we're going to just got to get down so we can slow down to 250 at 10. Things are looking up. I probably won't be able to be too interactive in the chat, unfortunately, during this approach and landing. Hopefully you understand why after watching this airplane so far. Let's also set our VREF speed here. So for landing, we're going to do flaps 30 landing. I love doing flaps 40, but...
Contact Manly radar on 120.6. Have a good day.
120.6. Have a good day. Thanks for the HC, Bourbon 101. Manly radar, good afternoon. Bourbon 101, we're 14.8, descending 9,000.
Bourbon 101, Manly radar, good day. Expect radar vectors ILS approach, runway 12, QNH 1015.
All right, QNH 1015, we'll expect radar vectors ILS 012, Bourbon 101. Right turn, heading 170, Bourbon 101. All right, 170 on the heading, so we're going to get vector, so I'm going to go heading mode. I'm also going to flip over to my localizer frequency now, 109.1. Our final approach course was 124, correct? So let me just verify that. It was 123, so 123 is set. DME2 is, I'm going to leave that over there on Manly so I still have distance information. I mean, I can have it from here as well, but actually that's from the localizer, so we're looking good. But flaps 30, flaps 40 looks so cool, but it's not really allowed anyway.
Bourbon 101, reduce speed 229.
Slowing to 230, Bourbon 101. All right, speed brakes, spoid brakes out. We got to work this speed back. I don't want her to climb here. So I'm going to let that VSI work up. If I was in, I probably could do a vertical speed, or of course, shut it off.
Bourbon 101, it's going to maintain 5,000.
It's going to maintain 5,000, Bourbon 101. All right, 5,000 is set.
210 knots.
And we'll slow to 210 knots, Bourbon 101. All right, 210 knots. Oh, sorry, we'll maintain 230 knots, Bourbon 101. All right, 230 on the speed is set. There's 10,000 feet, right on time. Lights are coming on.
10 on the speed, Jamaica 15.
So 128, we set our bugs for VREF. Flaps 30. We're out of 10,000 feet, so we can get rid of that. Verify we did everything else. Radar altimeters, that is, all flight instruments are set, so that is good. We're getting radar vectored. Our little glide slope just came alive, so that's good to know. One other thing I want to check here, in the event of a missed approach, what do we have to do? Climb 10,000, right turn to intercept MLY.
101, speed 200 knots.
200, Bourbon 101. All right, so 5,200 on the speed. And we are getting ready to start putting out some of that drag. Oh yeah, flaps 5, 230. So here we go. That's my idle horn there. Where's my horn cut out? On the overhead, or is that on the 7.3?
Bourbon 101, percent maintain 4,000.
Center maintain 4,000, Bourbon 101. What is that now? IS hold. Altitude select is arm. Here we go. Oh my gosh, my speed brakes are out. Do it. Spoid brakes are out. Speed brakes with flaps horn. Yep. I thought it was the landing gear, but it wasn't. Left turn 040, Bourbon 101. Left turn 040 all the way around. Here we go. 5 for 4, altitude select is still on. Just confirm we have our frequency. 109.1, 109.1 is set. We got our glide slope. Still no loc information. Put you into heading mode. Turn knob. 1,000 to go. There's those flaps with speed brake out. I thought it was a gear horn too, but it was a flat. It was the speed brake. See, I tell you guys, I haven't flown this airplane in a while. I'll get a little rusty. We'll go 200. Flaps 10. Slow to 180, Bourbon 101. All right, 180 now. So we'll go ahead and.
Jamaica 157 miles from Kino. Okay, ILS approach runway 12 descend maintain 4,000 until established.
Interestingly enough here, I'm not getting, well, we're still 25 miles out.
Jamaica 15 would establish speed 180 until 6 p.m.
It is 124 on the final approach course.
180 until 6 p.m.
123 on the approach course. We are 109.1.
November 1580, we're just going to maintain 7 knots.
Not a 7822.
Get that speed back up there for him. It's called the beer horn. We got it. We got it. The beer horn.
Bank 101, 10 right heading 090.
090, Bourbon 101. So he must be vectoring us around for spacing here. Let me see if
November
there's...
180.
Oh yeah, he's got everybody on final here. Look at that.
What's 1001?
170 on the speed, about 1.85 on the EPR. That looks good. We got glide slope, no loc information yet. Altitude hold, 25 miles out. Everything is good there. Anything? Let's go to the final approach. No smoking's on. We'll arm the spoilers. Actually, there we go. Now they're armed, right? Just a tick mark out. Spoilers armed. Auto brake. Let's do medium brakes. Actually, we'll do minimum brakes because I like to use maximum reverse. Let it speed, speed, speed. Let the maximum reversers hang out there.
7 miles from Kino, clear the ILS approach. We're going to maintain 4,000 until established.
All right, 4 established, clear ILS 12, Bourbon 101. From Kino. So we're going to have to track 109.1. Why are we not getting any loc information? There it is.
November
Woo.
15.
Just in time. I was about ready to switch over to the VOR.
5,000.
All right, so that is set.
Not a 5822.
We're going to leave it in heading mode. A little bit more speed. Let me go back to my checklist here. All right, auto brakes are armed. Gear, we'll set that and flaps. So all we have is gear and flaps left to do. We're tracking inbound at 4,000 feet, 20 miles out.
Jamaica 15 tower on 118.65.
Kino's at 4,000. Kino's identified at 15.8. Inside of Kino, we can drop it to 2,800 feet.
November 1580.
If we're not on the slope yet. Penny, you're already on the ground? Nice. Yeah, 20 miles on the loc. We got it. It's just starting to come alive now. Give a little extra gas there. A little extra gas. I didn't want to go flaps 20 there. Really draggy. But I accidentally clicked it, so we're going to just roll with it. So we've got our glide slope and localizer armed. We're 19. I don't think we're going to get on this before Kino. So to be preemptive, I'm going to set 2,800. Just in case we get inside of, well, that's when we're established. So, but the arc is 17 miles from Manly, which we are just about. Minimum sector 4,000. So we'll be okay to drop to 2,800 here.
210 on the speed, clipper 1297.
Let's go ahead and start trickling down.
Clipper 1297, set a maintain 5,000. Set a 5,000, clipper 1297.
There it comes. So we're technically established. Start the turn. Loc is captured.
Bourbon 101, looks like you overshot there. You can turn right heading 130,
What?
descend maintain 2,000 to rejoin.
Was that for Bourbon 101?
Okay, yeah, you look like you overshot there, but I see you join now. I get to contact tower 118.65.
1865, Bourbon 101. Thanks for your help.
No problem. November
Scared me there. Said I overshot. Alright, so we're looking good here now. We are established, coming down to 2,800. I'm going to just let it level, and then we'll capture the glide slope. But we are ready to go here. She is tracking inbound, looking good. We're still on speed. Tower, good afternoon. Bourbon 101. We're on the ILS runway 12.
Bourbon 101, landing tower, very good afternoon. Landing Airbus A320 short on runway 12.
All right, 12, continue approach, Bourbon 101. All right, we're going to continue approach for runway 12. It says it's tracking. Let's make sure it does track. I'm going to go ahead and start reducing. We're going to take it all the way back to about 160 here. Our VREF, what was it, 128, 132-ish, 33, so we'll be good. We're flaps 20. As soon as I capture that glide slope, we'll drop it down. We're on auto approach mode. So you should correct to the right here, airplane. Slightly off course. Man, that speed is slippery. All right, here comes the glide slope. As soon as we nose over, we'll configure it. If we do have to go around, above 1,000 eventually, and then up to 4,000. There's our glide slope capture. We got 4,000 set. Let's go ahead and start to bring it back. Landing gear down. Look at that shot. Oh, that is my favorite there. Look at the big old gears coming down. Alright, let's pay attention here. Coming all the way back. We want to get her nice and trimmed out. 130. I'm going to bug 200 just in case we can do the go around here. And flaps 30. Let's make sure our landing checklist is complete. No smoking on, spoilers armed, auto brakes are armed, gears down, 3 green. Flaps 30 and indicating, landing checklist complete. We are continuing the approach. We are not clear to land just yet. Let's see if I can set my thrust here without stalling. Flyby view, fully configured. Hit the like button for this. Oh my goodness, look at that juice. I was talking, we'll do one more from slightly below. If you haven't hit the like button, you have to hit it for that. That was epic. So we're slightly off course here. Or is this an offset loc? I think we're slightly offset here, because I can see the runway. Alright, we're still waiting on landing clearance. Oh, look, it's ready to auto land.
Good evening, Manly Towers. Soundtrack Zulu 4000 on the ILS 12.
Bourbon 101, 81301, runway 12, clear to land.
Runway 12, clear to land, Bourbon 101. Alright, clear to land. Autopilot's coming off.
And, Tower, Jamaica 15, we're clear, runway 12.
Let's hand fly her down. So it's a slightly offset loc here. I'm going to go ahead and manually correct. The runway's in sight. We're on speed. Airplane is pretty much nicely trimmed out for the speed here, so we're looking good. Stable. So our loc will go ahead and... I don't know if that's a scenery thing, or if I have to check in the jet pages to see if it is indeed offset loc here. I haven't been down here in so long, I don't really remember. So we'll see deviation in our loc needle. That's okay.
Take care of anybody 160 contact.
Yes, sir. I'm jet 820 heavy. Cargo stand number 15.
Alert 818, stand by.
I hate having that flight director on there. If I could have my first officer go ahead and turn off our flight directors, please. After flying the Airbus for so long, I hate seeing a flight director and not following it. Because in the Airbus, if the flight director's on, you're following the flight director. Or you shut it off. There we go, it should come back into it here. 3 whites, so we're doing all right. There we go. 2 whites, 2 reds, coming back down on that slope. Non-coincident glide path here, so we'll just go ahead and follow these pappies in right now. We're looking good.
2 minimums.
Landing. Oh, come on. Oh, yes, sir. What? That was not a 249. I don't care what you say. That was a butter. I'm going to have to see.
129er7.
249? No, sir. 70 knots. Manual brakes. Go ahead and stow it. I can't wait to see that replay.
November 1580 Zulu, runway 12, continue approach.
I will make the left turn here at Alpha.
Bourbon 101.
Yeah, Bourbon 101, we're clearing here at Alpha.
Bourbon 101, taxi the Alpha to the gate, good afternoon.
Alpha to the gate, Bourbon 101, good afternoon. Alright, welcome to the Jamaica Man. Oh, leave that on. Turn that off, turn that off. Who's that? True? True, I can't see your name. Can't see it. Coming in with a 727 donation. Thank you so much for your support on the channel, man. I see what you did there. 727 on the dono. Well spun, those dials. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your support here on the channel. Yes, we did it. We are down. We are in Jamaica. That was juice. We're going to have to take a look at that replay. But that was indeed a pretty sweet landing. All right, I see an Air Jamaica over there. Let's go park next to Air Jamaica. And we got to do an after land here. After landing, window heat. I can't do all that stuff while taxiing. Let's take it into the gate area here, and then we'll do our after lands and shut it down. There's that Frontier flight that was out there. Wojtek says, I found that the ILS is off in X-plane for Kingston. Okay, so maybe it isn't just me. I thought it was weird that we were off there on that. Benny says, my livery is showing as Emerald Air. That's funny. Alright, we'll take it here at, what is that? Oscar 7? Dougal says, where is XP72? He should be here. I know, man. Gate 7, Oscar 7, wow. 07 is the gate. Yeah, where's it? There's XP right there. Hey, he's taking a Neo tonight, right, on his stream? Well, there he is. It's not a Neo, but there's a 321 Air Jamaica. We found XP72. We don't have any scenery here, so we're just going to do a cheat mode parking job. Ooh. Man, my trucks are way over the line there. We'll take it to the Airbus spot. Actually, you know, we'll do 7.3 since we are Boeing. We're a little bit crooked. Brakes are set. Let's go ahead and shut this thing down.
Really copy, great.
Those can come off. Those can come off. I gotta do our after lands here. Anti-ice as required. Those are off. Pitot heats can come off. Flaps up. Transponder. We'll leave it on right now. Speed brakes down. Galley power off. Flight ground switch to ground. Whoa, my frames went out there. You know what, before we do that, let's connect ground power. How about we do this? And external power. And let's kill him. And there's a corporate jet landing.
Tower, if you could you send that over 6? Roger, working on you now.
Our window heat, pitot heats, flaps, radar transponder is on for ATC, speed brakes are down, galley power off, flight ground switch to ground, APU start on bus, we're doing ground power, seatbelt sign, beacon lights, off, off, electrical, APU, ground power, hydraulic, pumps, A and B off, so off, off, we gotta get that clipper landing, off, off, oh, did I not do, my bad, there we go. We went dark in the cabin briefly there. Blame it on the bourbon. Hydraulics off, aircon, 4 bleeds open. So 1, 2, 3, 4. PAX off. And secure checklist. All right, so we are pretty much down now. I left all my lights on. I see Clipper on short final. Let's go watch this Clipper landing here. We'll leave our lights on at the gate like an amateur. We'll just blame it on Phantom 320 here. And then we're going to take a look at this replay landing because I don't think that was 200. That was as greasy as it can be here. Let's go ahead and park it on the, well, there's no 1,000 footers. Well, that's 500. We're going to put it right about here. Here's the sweet spot. I floated a little bit. All right, Phantom, what you got? Coming in with a 727/Embraer 170. Ooh, very nice and stable. Ollie, no, I don't know what livery that is. Are you going to land today? There you go. Oh, boy. Yeah, he caught the last one, I think. Nice touchdown. Centerline 10 for 10 for Phantom. Pretty good job there. Well, maybe 8 for 10. He's about a wheel length off. Not bad, not bad. Anybody else? There's a couple more on short final. There's another Bourbon coming in. Let's go ahead and shut off a few more lights here since we're at the gate. We'll keep beacon off. Logo can stay on. Wing lights can come off. We'll go transponder off. Disarm this. Oops, that's on. I want you to go off. There we go. Those are off. And yeah, I think that's close enough for the securing. Isn't there a shift? Is it shift F1 to open the back? Yeah. So we dropped the air stair there.
Clipper 1297.
All right, Clipper's coming to the gate. Nice. Mateo, you're coming in hot. All right, we got Mateo on final. There he is, Bourbon 358. Is that you, or are you the one behind it? We got a couple more Bourbons coming in. We got Bourbon 358 and Bub 349. What livery is this over here? Model matching fail. I'm not even sure what that says. Definitely well-cultured show here at the V1 channel. I do not recognize this livery. Apologies. All right, we got another aircraft on final out there. Let's see. Let's put it on the spot. So in the default scenery here, it's a little messed up. So I don't think that's 500 feet. That's probably 500. So this is probably 1,000 here, 2 stripes. So this is the juice right here. This is where we should be getting a touchdown. Although I floated a little bit. Oh, this is also where the Pappies bring you down, coincidentally. That's cool. So we do have traffic out there on final. We'll wait for him. Mateo, you are 358. Awesome, sir. Coaster comment says there was a 727 cockpit in Charlotte's Air Museum. They are renovating it now. Might still be there when they're done. Awesome. Siegfried says there was more butter on that landing than my toast this morning. Appreciate it, man. SR22 pilot says Airbus pilot that still knows how to fly VORs. That is awesome. Hey, man. Yeah, I was a little rusty today. I'm not going to lie. We're a little rusty in the 7.2, but we got it here safely. I don't think we made any safety errors or game-changing errors. Bulgarian? Okay, Bulgarian Air. There we go. Yep, the DB Cooper door when we dropped that one out on the tail there.
And mainly tower.
All right, here we go.
Roger. Emirates 818 Heavy is cleared to Miami via the Radix 7 radar vector. Absolute direct BMO, direct F2, Zenith Wacom 6000.
Look at this coming in. Looking good.
67 for MKJP 820 heavy.
Coming down. Oh, he's down right here. He's still in the touchdown zone. I think we touched down right about here as well. I think this is where we touched down at. All right, there's one more Bourbon on final. We'll wait for him. So this is the... Let's go back to the money spot right about here. I can see it way out there. One more guy on final, and then we will do our replay. I know you guys are anxious for the replay, but I do want to give these guys a shot here. Actually, what we can do is I can put you guys into replay mode like this, and then I can give you guys some tunes here. We don't want to start the sail music, but we can do a little bit of this as we wait for the final Bourbon to touch down here. Bourbon 349. He's a little ways out there. How far are you out, man? Let's go find him. Oh, man, he's way out there. There he is. Let's see a speck. Mateo Chewy, nice touchdown. That was you, man. That's right. Nicely done. A little long, but I think we'll take a look at my replay and we'll see where I touched down. I don't think I beat any of you guys. I think I was a little long. Phantom was, he pretty much landed at the end of the runway. And let's see, Mateo was down, so we got this guy right here. 349. We're counting on you. We're with 349. Here he comes. That's where I need a drone view so I can stay with him. Man, if the model matching was on, this would be sweet. Alright, let's follow him in. Has he got the speed brakes out? But yeah, see, he's a little offset as well. I think we were all a little offset. It threw us off. But yeah, he's coming down. We'll go to the runway one more time. I see his light out there. There's Mateo taxiing to the ramp. Let's see. There's his lights. One more Bourbon to come down. Leave no man behind. Robert S. says, good job, mate. I'm heading off to watch a little bit of Prison Break with the wife. Take care and see you soon. Robert S. See ya, bud. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. You have a good rest of your day, my friend. Phantom said, I'm not using default scenery and it looked decent to me. I don't know, man. See, blame it on the scenery seems kind of like a cop-out, don't you guys think? I think Phantom is trying to pull the scenery bug. I don't know about that. Andre Henry says, I floated halfway down, but we'll keep that between us. Oh, man. I still want to see where I floated because I was really trying to get that butter. And then it came up and said 243. I don't know about that. We're going to review that one here. And then we're going to shut it down because I really have to use the lav. Phantom says my ILS wasn't even lined up properly to the runway. Hey, neither was mine, man, but good pilot. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Wow, I had to think about it there for a minute.
In tower, Airjet 818 heavy is ready taxi.
Offset loc approach, although maybe the offset here is a little more than the real world. Okay, yeah, it was definitely more than 5 degrees. I can take a quick look at the chart here. Normally there's a node on here. Misapproach, offset loc, so it is offset. Loc offset, yeah, see, 3 degrees. I think that was more than 3 degrees, but again, that could be a scenery issue. But yeah, it does say it. That's one thing I probably should have briefed. Loc course offset 3 degrees. But between that and when the controller said he thought I overshot when we hadn't even intercepted it yet, there could be a slight scenery difference there. But yeah, there's your note in the description on the 10.9. Loc course offset 3 degrees. You also have another note over here saying, hey, when you break out, you're going to be offset from the runway. All right, here we go. He's coming down, looking good. Oh, man, this is going to be money. And down. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. 7 for 10 on the center line there. 7 for 10 on center line. All right, let's watch the replay. Awesome stuff, guys. Thank you for the Bourbon company there. Let's back this up here a little bit. I got to wait for this box to close. Let's take a look at our own replay. There we go. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Phantom says I touched down 1 runway strike past 1,000 footers. Pixar didn't happen. We'll see, man. Just messing with you. I don't know. It did seem pretty long. We'll see. We'll see where I touch down. But I kind of want to see, since we have VSI here, let's see what the VSI says when we touch down. We're going to analyze this, and then I'll pause it right on touchdown.
100.
I didn't think it was that hard. 243 is a little firm.
10.
All right, there. Hold it. Hold it. That one said 261. I don't know. That's 200 feet per minute right there on the VSI. Now there is a lag on that, but we'll see. Where did I touch down? Oh yeah, I float factored this one out too here. Check this out. I'm only 1 stripe to go before going off the touchdown zone. Oh no! No! We waited too long. I couldn't even get a replay in. All right, that's it. I'm officially never waiting for VATSIM replays. What a bummer. What a bummer. At least we got a freeze frame where we touched down. I'm going to call that a 125 in my book. Man, I cannot believe the sim crashed. Ah, that's sad. All right. Well, mods, thank you for hanging out in the chat today, moderating the channel. Everyone who donated, everyone who sponsored or became a member of the channel, thank you so much. Huge shout out to you guys. Really helps the channel. I can reinvest in the sim itself, in peripherals, to bring you guys the best content I possibly can. So appreciate you guys. Everyone else just hanging out in chat, thank you so much for being here with me today. Please hit the like button for me on the way out. Again, I apologize we didn't get any good replays. I was really looking forward to that 727 replay. But until next time, guys, I am V1. Stay safe, stay healthy. See ya!